5 more soldiers of the occupying Russian army have surrendered, responding positively to the call made to them by Ukrainian soldiers via a drone. The relevant footage has been shared on Telegram channels. The Ukrainian fighters who were taking a position in the area of the semi-destroyed building addressed Russian soldiers through the loudspeaker on the drone, saying, "Now you have a unique chance to survive. To surrender, drop your weapon, raise your hands above your head and point it at the drone. The drone will show you a safe path. Follow the drone, you will survive." The Russian soldiers agreed to this proposal, dropped their weapons, followed the drone towards the position of the Ukrainian fighters and surrendered.
In the Russian Federation, officials are afraid to announce a new wave of forced mobilization. This was stated by veteran of the Russian-Ukrainian War, former company commander of the Aidar Battalion of Ukraine, Yevgeny Diki, on air on Radio NV. Their losses are simply colossal. Not a single assessment that is really based on something serious provides for losses of less than approximately 200,000 just in the knocked out ones, said Diki. He added that, given the way Russian military field medicine works, for every one killed Russian, there are at least 2 who become disabled for life. In his opinion, we are talking about at least 400,000 disabled for life. This is a minimum estimate of their losses, Diki added. The analyst noted that there is an open list of named losses. A month ago, this list included more than 95,000 dead, but there are at least 60,000 more appeals to Ukraine from Russian citizens to search for their relatives who went missing in the war against Ukraine. The Russians have approximately 100,000 confirmed killed and about the same number of unconfirmed. It didn't give us what we initially hoped for in 2022. It didn't give us an anti-war movement in Russia. There are no protests, but it doesn't add to the regime's popularity either. It doesn't add to it at all. To put it mildly, it doesn't add to the popularity of a new possible forced mobilization, Diki said. At the same time, he explained the absence of protests against the war in Russia by the fact that most of these dead joined the Russian army voluntarily in order to earn money. That is why Russian public opinion is quite calm about this, said Diki. But another case is that those who were forcibly mobilized. Diki recalled that the Russian regime once managed to carry out a forced wave of mobilization in the fall of 2022. Since then, apart from those in Zinc, no one has been returned. Their wives travel around Russia with stickers saying, "Bring back your husband." And this apparently worries the authorities greatly, and hence the experiment with bringing in North Korean cannon fodder. The Russian authorities are still afraid of a new wave of forced mobilization. Diki is convinced. At the same time, the analyst believes that the key point is that as this manpower is destroyed, their army is getting worse and worse. He believes that the quality of the Russian army has been steadily declining. What is now coming against us, fighting against us, this is an order of magnitude worse in quality than what came in 2022, said Diki. The expert stressed that the destruction of Russian manpower must continue. Diki also noted that the Russian invaders have a truly catastrophic situation with military wheeled vehicles. The Russians are running out of iron. They still have meat, Although again, with the rate at which they throw this meat into meat assaults, and with the rate at which they are now being replenished. Not at all like, for example, 6 months ago, then problems are already emerging with that. But their problems with iron are simply catastrophic. They did not switch to donkeys because life was good, because wheeled transport in many areas simply dried up. Noted Dickey.
Ukrainian pilots have for the first time released footage from the cockpit of a US-made F-16 aircraft provided to the country as part of a military aid. The footage circulating on social media shows the aircraft equipped with 2 AIM-9 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles. The pilot in the cockpit held a sign reading, "Thank you to Americans for the help. Stand with Ukraine, stop Russia." It should be noted that during a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House last week, U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly stated that Ukraine had not thanked the U.S. enough for the aid supplied to Kiev since Russia's full-fledged invasion in February 2022.